I'm not that great today, so forgive. It can't be helped. I don't usually talk about health issues, but I threw my back out, so if you feel like praying, please pray. I've also slept the window open, and it was like 30 degrees again yesterday, so it is what it is. I'm not a doctor, no part of this is medical advice. I'm a victim of an assault, and I'm going to talk about that today. That's why the comments are turned off. But first, let me remind you of something. I'm very nervous. These topics make me very nervous, but it's probably up there with the top most 3 important videos I'll probably ever make. And I made a couple notes, but I don't work off a script or anything like that. So last summer on June 21st, 6/21/2025, an estimated 145 women around the ages of 14 to 20 were poked with syringes in a music festival crowd. Now, again, no part of this is medical advice. I'm not a doctor. This is about being your own personal advocate and being aware of your surroundings and who you're yoked with and who you share your life with and your time with and your space with. So this is not about medical information per se. So on 6/21, it was an estimated 145 women from around the ages of 14 to 20 were poked with these syringes. They were assaulted. Like, let's call it what it is. It's an assault. There were 12 suspects detained. I didn't see an update on that. And ironically enough, there were 1,000 reports that were very similar to that were filed 3 years prior in 2022. And we've talked about 22 being real big with the Antichrist crowd, real big, and their fake Kabbalah tree of life. We've talked about that. So, I'll get through this the best I can. So just be patient with me, please. Somewhere around, and I don't keep track of very traumatic dates of my own. There's one that I know, but other ones I'm the queen of denial. I will try to block things out. So 3 years before this happened in France to 145 women at a music festival, I reported something very similar to my local police department, that I was here in my home where I pay to live, and I was assaulted in the middle of the night by people that I knew. And I woke up with something wrong with my neck. I had almost bit through my tongue, and I had abrasions. I knew that I had been poked with something. They asked me to write down my police report in reverse, backwards. Ironic, no? What do these two stories have in common? What else do these two stories have in common? I'm also of French descent. So they didn't believe me. My local police department did not want to listen to me once again. But then 3 years later, the same thing happened. And now I find out it looks like there was 1,000 reports filed in 2022 and warnings posted all across social media, which I wouldn't know because by that time I was highly encouraged to get off of social media. So they were warning each other on social media. Now, when I went to the police department and when I tried to tell my one neighbor, and I'm trying to figure out what happened to me because things were coming back in flashes throughout the next week, I was told that I had a dream. I was told that the bruises on the backs of my own knees were there because I had done that to myself in my sleep. I was told that I had almost bit off my own tongue because of a dream and that I imagined any syringe marks. Once we forget who we are and our heritage, they win. I'm also French, just like all the French women who were also assaulted with syringes at an open public venue. Why is it any harder to believe that it happened to me being in my own house? before it happened at this open venue. I've tried to relay and warn people for years. This has weighed on my conscience and my own health for years. I have got out the word the best I can. They have kept me isolated and secluded so that I could not warn people. You got to be out of your mind if you think I'm not going to tell my own people about genocide. But it's not just French people you see. If you have a Native American background, you should be careful. A lot of people are missing. I've kept track. You should keep track. Their names matter. Their heritages matter. Because it's mostly happening to women. Why is that? Because we hold the future in our wombs for the next generation. That's why. So of course it's happening to more women. So when your women try to come to you and they tell you that things are going on, you should listen to them. Yesterday I reminded somebody. I said, when my body starts to, I said, if God allows this to go on, I said, and if my body starts to deteriorate, are you going to be able to watch this occur? Oh, yeah, sure. I'll be right here. You're going to take care of him. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great. You're going to be able to watch it go down. Well, I didn't do it. These people are it's psychopathy. We're dealing with psychopaths. It's 13 bloodlines. And let's be clear. Let's just cut to the chase. The only one's going to be left is their 13 bloodlines. And it's going to be less than that, even, because they're psychopaths. They have bloodlust. So once everybody else is gone, they will start in on each other, which has already started. You see that in their infighting in the politics. So this video isn't going to be too long because I'm going to try and suck out as much joy from my life as I possibly can. Because I truly don't know how much time I have left. But let me put a couple warnings to you. I'm also someone who's told everyone to repent for the last several years. I've told you I've known what was going on. I've told you I've known what was happening. I've told you that God was talking to a lot of us because of this, because God always warns you when your time is almost up. We should darn well not have any debts left, because these are war crimes, let's be clear. We should not have any debt left. Last year was the summer of the brats. This year should be the summer of God's children. We should get to come and go wherever we pick and choose and wherever we please. We should not have to pay for energy, which is free anyway. You've taken the best years of our life. You've taken our health. You paired up with us and bred with us because you had to. And just to have another generation to terrorize. So I pray to God it is the end times. Everything you're seeing on television is bred in Circus. They're just waiting for everyone who is assaulted, who's been victimized by a syringe, because that's what it is. They're just waiting for us all to drop. That's it. We're getting the worst of the food. We're on lockdown. We're not allowed in. We're not allowed out. And God told me very clearly that there's something to do with protein to avoid it in the way that most humans partake of it, especially in this time. And I have warned you about that too. So I'm doing the best that I can to rid my conscience, but that's not what this is about. 145 women between the ages of 14 and 20, childbearing ages, so that they can cut off the next generation of the vine. Because like I said, it's not going to stop with just French women, and it's not going to stop with just American women, and it's not going to stop with just Catholic or Christian women. It's going to be all across the board. That's why they don't care how ludicrous or insane things look right now. They don't care. But you're not going to be here much longer anyway, they figure about the rest of us. So if God is calling me to walk across America and go see the Hoover Dam or the Petrified Forest or whatever the heck, if he's telling you to do something, you should probably do it. And you better be praying for divine intervention at this point if you're not one of those top elitist bloodlines. Because that's it. This is what it is. And I just gave you facts from something that's not just from my life, right? This is 145 women in childbearing ages. I want to read you a little bit of something as well, because this is kind of how I roll on this channel, and this is what I do. Who shall find a strong woman? Far away and from the furthest parts is her price. The heart of her husband confides in her, and he will not be deprived of spoils. She will repay him with good and not evil all the days of her life. She has sought wool and flax, and she has worked these by the counsel of her hands. She has become like a merchant ship, bringing her bread from far away. And she has risen in the night and given a prey to her household and provision to her maids. She has considered a field and bought it. From the fruit of her own hands she has planted a vineyard. She has wrapped her waist with fortitude, and she has strengthened her arm. That's a Proverbs 31 woman. Let me be very clear when I say that women, let's be very loose with that term. Women, not ladies, like Erica Kirk, do not speak for Christ following women like myself. Now, I allowed myself to be led astray because we are planted beside each other. It is the wheats and the tares. My household, I am the only one who knows Jesus at all and loves him, but fails every day at trying to emulate him. Every single moment of every day I fail. But I keep trying because I have that perseverance given to me by the grace of God. If you start ending all of us who just sat here and told you all to repent, what do you think then is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? These people that you're emulating and that you're idolizing are not true Christ-following women. I don't care if you work outside of the household. I don't care if you're traditional, whatever that even means at this point. Christ-following women don't endorse genocide. They just don't. Not in any way, shape, or form, not on any plane, not in any realm, not in any dimension. We do not endorse genocide. We do not endorse carnal warfare. And if you were endorsing this crap on any way, in any medium, you don't know Christ. Because it is happening widespread across the realm. And no one is, everybody, let me tell you something about your favorite YouTubers that you think you want to follow. If they really think that everything's going to end tomorrow, why are they still wanting to make money? Why are they still wanting to earn money? If everything's going to end, wouldn't that be the last thing you cared about was making money if you thought the system was ending? Let them eat cake, man. It's all bread and circus until everyone who was assaulted by the end of their one of their needles, one of their syringes. And that's not just in the healthcare department. Let's be clear, shall we? Let's be real clear. You know how many of these I was encouraged to get? I was such a good person. Not good person, but like I was trying to be a good person. unspoiled, I guess, maybe. Not even that, just innocent still. It is all bread and circus until everyone drops. And if you're not going fast enough, well, they'll make sure that they encourage you to consume something, partake of something that will speed along the process. And I've given you several hints in this 15-minute video. You need to pass these things around that I'm telling you. I've said these things in longer videos in one way or another, but I'm not doing great. I need for people to get the point and understand what I'm saying very clearly, so that regardless of what happens to me in my life, maybe you can go and be helped, be of help, have some more joy, not waste the last moments of your life. I don't know, anything better than this, better than sitting around doing nothing, participating in a wicked system that just wants you to die already. That's what they want at this point. And I'm not encouraging or inciting violence because I'm a pacifist. You do what you need to do. Like, I can't tell you how to live your life. Me, myself, and I'm a pacifist. I cannot afford any more mistakes in my life, especially if this is the end of it. I've got to walk this out right. And if God is calling me to walk across America, you need to leave me alone and let me do that as the last bloody act of my stupid small life. And darn Skippy, I'm mad. You should be mad too. Just because maybe you don't like me, you don't care about me, you don't care for me, you shouldn't want this world. You shouldn't want any part of this for anybody. I've watched people be very, very, in a bad way, working at nursing homes. Young people who just get put there because they don't know what else to do with them. It's not a good way to live your life. Go have some joy. Go do something. Go do something. Go warn somebody. Go help somebody. We should feel ashamed. We should be ashamed. You should be angry. This is our land. If we want to travel, they shouldn't be able to restrict that, especially if this is our last summer. They had their summer of the brats last summer. I told you about that. If you didn't see the video, it's up. But I'm going to end this video now because I don't want it to be any longer. One more thing, because I told you about the plagues the other day. God is telling me you need to let God's people go. And you know who I'm talking about. All of you. Have you not seen the damage wrought? And you don't, just listen. Just listen once. Just listen. Let God's people go. If we want to walk around the country, you let us do that. Especially, like, we're not going to harm nobody. Most people just want to live some joy at this point. And a lot of us probably don't have much time left. It's the least they can flip and give us. Let them clap each other on the back and be on the screens for each other. I don't give a hoot what dress somebody's wearing because they're ugly dresses anyway, and they're not wearing them well. Let's be clear. Miss Kirk, you need a new stylist. And I know that's not your name. I'm well aware of your real name here. Kind of like shy, but not. I'm telling you, let God's people go. Just leave us alone. God bless you. I do love you. I pray for you. And I forgive you, because some days I hate you.